Hi everyone. In this lecture, I will add Hateoas capability to our REST API. Let's first add Spring Boot Hateoas starter dependency to use hypermedia in our service. So I will go to pom.xml file of Elastic Query Service and add this dependency. Then I will extend the response model, Elastic Query Service response model class, with representation model class with generic type Elastic Query Service response model, which will change the response object to a REST representation model so that I can set Hateoas related links on it. After this, I will create a package called assembler under the model package, and then create a class called Elastic Query Service response model assembler. I will annotate this class with component annotation to make it a Spring managed bean. Then I will extend another Hateoas class here, representation model assembler support. And I will use generic types Twitter index model and Elastic Query Service response model. Then I will override two model methods from representation model assembler support class and then inject transformer class that we have used before, Elastic to response model transformer. As you see, I use constructor injection to inject this field. Then in the constructor, I need to call superclass constructor with controller class name and response model class name. So I will use Elastic Document Controller.class and Elastic Query Service Response Model.class as the parameters to call the super constructor. This is to tell to assembler that here we use this controller and response model for Hateoas. Then I need to override two model methods and do the transformation from Twitter index model to the response model here. So I will get a Elastic Query Service response model object from the Twitter index model using the Elastic to response model transformer class. Since the response model extends representation model class, now it has additional add methods where I can set hypermedia links. I use the static methods on WebMVC link builder class, link to and method on, and also the with self-rel and with rel methods on the link builder support class. This way, I added links to the response by specifying the methods in the controller and also adding the rel definitions. So I have a self link and also a link to the document's base path here. As you see, I used with rel methods to pass the document path. Now I can return the response model from these two model methods. And then let's create two models method to handle collection input type. This method will make use of the two model methods and just handle a list Twitter index model input. So I will stream from the Twitter index models list and map it to a model and then collect to a list again to return a list of Elastic Query Service response model here. Finally, in the Twitter Elastic Query Service implementation class, I will inject the newly created Elastic Query Service response model assembler class instead of the transformer, and call the toModel and toModels methods to return a response which includes hypermedia links. In each method, I will simply call the assembler toModel and toModels methods. Great, after finishing the Hateoas changes, let's run everything again. I will run Elastic Cluster, and then config server, and the Elastic Query Service. Then I will check if we have successfully added the hypermedia links. I will go to Postman, and when I call the documents path, as you can see, the response now returns the links that we have defined in the assembler class. Alright, in the next lecture, I will continue with versioning the API. So I will see you in the next lecture.